Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and we're going to go ahead and switch things up today. No draft video this week, but what we're going to do is, since companions are all the talk of the town, the new most busted mechanic of all time, if you will, I figured we would go ahead and try them out. So these are going to be standard games. I'm going to try out every single companion. These are stock lists that I found online. If there was a name attached to them, I tried to give credit to the person whose name was attached to it when I found it. The exception being Yorion and Lutri, which are decks that I just made myself. Lutri, not a particularly popular companion. Unfortunately, got the Axon Commander as well. But a lot of the other ones are popping up here and there. Standard is mostly dominated, I think, by like Yorion and kind of Lurrus. Lurrus has fallen out of favor, but Kahira is popping up. Obosh is popping up. Garuda was the big thing that kind of got people's interest sparked in companions and really kind of pushed the envelope with this mechanic. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to do one per video, and we're going to just go ahead and spin a wheel here and see which one we're going to play with. Again, I might have to fill out some wild cards for the decks, but looks like Keruga. That's the Simic one. And we'll go ahead and talk about the deck real quick. Again, I haven't practiced with these decks or anything. I'm just kind of getting a feel for them to see, you know, which companions are working out, which ones aren't. So let's go ahead and look at the Keruga deck real quick. And there's a siren going off in the background. Good timing. Yeah, let's go ahead and fill out the wild card. So this is a Jeskai Fires deck. I'm going to play best of one, so I'm not too worried about the sideboard or anything like that. But Jeskai Fires is pretty simple, right? We know this deck by now. The fact that this is basically just the same exact deck that it was before, but now it also gets Keruga is pretty interesting, right? So if you look at the deck, right, there's not a single Ikoria card in here. It's just the same exact deck that people were already playing, but boom, you get Keruga now. And yeah, I was going to say, I guess there are Triomes as well. But if you've seen a Fires of Invention deck, then you know how this is going to play out. Basically, your whole strategy is to cast this card and then just start playing Haymaker after Haymaker and bury your opponent in powerful cards. If you don't find Fires of Invention, or you can't cast it, or it gets countered, then your deck basically sucks. But Fires is a really popular deck right now. Again, we don't care too much about the sideboard here because I am going to just play best of one. And let's say we run through like 3 matches here, right? Maybe 4, maybe more if we are disappointed, and we'll get a feel for how the deck ends up working. So Keruga, let's start things off. I will see you all in match number 1. All right, we are here for match number 1. We're against a Lurrus deck, like I said, that's really popular. We have the Fires in our hand. We have a couple Bone Crusher Giants to take out some early game threats. Mystical Dispute's pretty bad here. I guess I don't know if people are still main decking Mystical Disputes, but with as popular as Yorion's are, I imagine so. We could lose very quickly if our opponent has Cat combo, plus our hand is really slow. Let's go and lead off with a Scry land. We probably don't need a second Fires this match. We're just looking for straight action. This deck does have Deafening Clarions in the main board, though, which is probably one of your best cards here. If you can get a couple big creatures on board, and then Deafening Clarion, you're looking pretty good. Alright, so we're under the Cat combo already. See if they have another 1-drop here. The Cat Oven, more Bone Crusher Giants. I do think I am not going to shock myself, though. And it looks like we're against Rakdos, not Orzhov. Rakdos, I think, being the better archetype. Okay. More cats is not a problem. It's more ovens that becomes a problem. And they've got more ovens. Alright. So this is like 3 damage per turn, basically. So we might be just under it too fast here. Again, our opponent having more cats is not really that big of a deal. Bone Crusher. I might just cast a Bone Crusher so my opponent can't attack into me, although that doesn't really stop them. Don't really want to shock myself, but this doesn't do too much. These adventure cards are actually just horrendously bad against the Cat combo. I'm not going to shock myself because my opponent can still just attack through and sack the Cat to whatever gets unblocked here. The reason I hate the Witch Oven deck is not because I think the deck's bad or anything, but it takes people so long to just play through things. Like, I'm passing the turn. I guess I shouldn't auto-yield. Oh my god. Well, welcome to match 1, where our opponent is probably trying to figure out how the oven works. That or they disconnected or something along those lines. Makes for some fun magic here. It just, again, this is the type of thing that's really fun in paper, but in digital magic, it takes literally forever. And you can see if I go for the Bone Crusher Giant, they can just sack their creature in response. What I might do here, I don't know if it's right, is when they sack their other cat, maybe I Bone Crusher Giant the first cat. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Get one cat off my back. All they need is another creature to sack to make a food and then get that chain rolling again. It's not too hard. It does prevent a point of damage to me, though. So what we're looking to do is we'll be able to stick fires. We're really looking for Deafening Clarion, or Kenrith is one of your better cards here because you can start using the gain 5 life ability on Kenrith. I guess we have a Keruga too. Whisper Squad. Okay, so they're going to be able to get back that other cat. And we are looking for more action than some Bone Crusher Giants, unfortunately. I don't have too much going on. I'm not sure it matters what land I get. Might as well get the Swamp. I assume the Swamp is so that you can activate Kenrith's Black ability, but I'm not sure about that either. And remember, we cannot play at instant speed while we have fires. We've already cast our first spell. Might as well just cast the first Bone Crusher Giant. And then next turn, if we don't draw something good, opponent says good game. Okay. Maybe they had to leave or something, because they're actually in decent shape. They don't know my hand sucks. I'll take it. Not really a good showing for fires, right? We were basically in bad shape, I think. They've got the oven combo going. We have nothing going on in our hand. No way to draw extra cards, but I'll take my win. Remember, if you have a preference towards which of the companions you want to see next, feel free to leave that in the comments below. Although I'm probably just going to spin the wheel anyway. I doubt I'll hear from anybody. We're going to get through all 10 of them at some point. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content like this. You can find us on Twitter at MTG_Manarocks. And let's go ahead and jump into match number 2. See you there. Alright, welcome back. We're here against Bonnie 1987. We do have the fires. We're against Yorion. Yorion has a couple different flavors though, right? Almost always a control deck, but a lot of different things going on. Opponent takes a mulligan. Brazen Borrower, not likely to be amazing in this matchup, but fine. Deafening Clarion also depends on which version of Yorion we're playing. Bant seems to be pretty popular, but there's also Sultai, Esper. We'll go ahead and just lead off with our trio and pass. We didn't get to play Keruga last game, but you can see how on the following turn when we untap, we could play Keruga, draw a card, and get going. This hand's looking decent. Jeskai, huh? I don't know that I need to keep up Brazen Borrower for any particular reason. Black Fox. Alright. We got us a Fabled Passage. So I'm just going to go ahead and, well, do I want to guarantee to Fairy? Or, I'm sorry, do I want to guarantee a turn 4 fires, or do I want to get to Fairy down? I think getting to Fairy down means I can't be countered, right? It also means they can just stick their own thing, but then I'm not casting anything on turn 4, unless I draw an untapped mana source. I think priority should be just getting down a... getting down a fires here. Although it'd be awkward if we jam fires and it gets countered, right? Opponent with their 80 card deck. Yorion's a fun one. I have my own Yorion deck that I just play casually. It's not a stock list either. Made it myself. It's fun. It's not super competitive. Alright, so they can't have a 3 mana counter. I'm just going to jam this fires. See if they've got a counter spell or not. They could have a Dovin's Veto or negate, anything along those lines. It sticks. I think we go to Fairy here. Omen of the Sea, I like it. We're just going to plus to Fairy. I could minus and guarantee I get my card here. I'm not sure what they can do about it, but they might have Shocks, Bone Crusher Giant, something like that, so we'll plus Teferi and pass. Next turn, we actually need a 5th land in order to cast Cavalier or Keruga, but we'll see. We have a potential extra draw here with Teferi. Our Clarions are probably not going to be good this game. Brazen Borrower is fine, but not great either. Drawing a 5th land, though, would be great because the Cavalier can cycle away the Clarions, hopefully draw into something a little bit better. Opponent sticks their own Teferi, probably bounce and Fires. Make me just recast Fires. So I can't double spell next turn, I can just cast one spell. 5th land, maybe. Another 5-drop, that's not good. Alright, I'm going to minus and hope to draw a 5th land here. We did. So now we go Fires. We can't give this haste, right? It's 1 in a red. Could also just cast Keruga here, but I'm going to make my opponent deal with this threat first. Discard 2 Clarions. Not sure if I need to keep this Brazen Borrower or not. Another Teferi, sure. And I can't give this haste, so we'll pass the turn. Okay. I mean, you can see how Keruga would be awesome, right? Keruga would just draw 3 cards here. That's what I'm going to do next turn for sure, depending on what they play here. Straight up Jeskai, not something I'm used to seeing too often. Neither opponent playing at instant speed due to this ridiculous card. I wonder if they're also a Fires deck. They might also be a Fires deck. I assume Jeskai with Fires going on here. But I think I'd be set against a Fires deck. If they just go Fires into spell here, they'd have to have a pretty good spell. My hand interacts quite nicely. Omen of the Forge. They're going to kill Teferi. Okay. I can't play at instant speed, so whatever they have, they might as well play right now. Let me see. Are they just dead? If I go Cavalier, that's 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, I think they're just dead. If I can activate Cavalier 3 times, right? Because that's 12, and then each activation is +2. I can activate 3 times, so that's 6. That's 18 damage exactly. I do not have Teferi on board, though. So maybe I should just force the action with Teferi first. Yeah. Cast Teferi, make them react to this. If they don't respond to Teferi and it sticks, they can't cast anything anyway, so they need to kill Cavalier right now. And if they use their mana to counter Teferi, yeah, they're dead. No Keruga, but again, you can see how Keruga would be good. Cast for free. Discard. And activate. Activate. And activate for 18 exactly. Attack Teferi. Alright. Get in there, Fires. Good job. Good job. If I were sideboarding here, I'd probably take the Mystical Disputes out. I don't know. Do you take out Mystical Disputes if your opponent's playing Teferi, or do you keep them in because they're playing Teferi? It's always an interesting question. Anyway, play a couple more. I'll see you all in match number 3. Alright, so welcome. We are playing against Bizelin. They do not have a companion, which, I mean, they might be a newer player, but you should 100% be playing with a companion right now, unless you have a good reason not to. I'm going to keep this hand because of the Sphinx of Foresights. They let me scry 3 if I reveal them in my opening hand. Just looking for lands and fire, so we'll put anything that's not lands and fire on top. You will take all available actions, yes. Alright, scry 3. Think Kenrith, land to bottom, and then hopefully see a fire in the top 3. Tap, tap, tap. Do we want to do that? Again, just digging as deep as possible for Fires of Invention. I'm keeping a... Oh, no, I'm not. I lied. Alright, let's just get some lands down and ship it. This might be a very fair game, but hopefully Bone Crusher Giant shocking something is good. Got a good old Temple of Silence here on turn 1. Just shock on my turn if I need to. Guess the Triomes are a nice addition to this deck because of Kenrith. Being able to activate Kenrith's other abilities is nice. Am I just supposed to play a Bone Crusher here? Against black-white? I don't think so. Maybe I should have kept Steam Vents on top over Savai Triome, because I cannot actually cast these Sphinxes. Sphinges, if you will. Look it up, the plural of Sphinx is Sphinges. Oh, Knights. Alright. Well, I'm going to let them untap and then cast me a Bone Crusher. Again, Deafening Clarion's in this deck. Not sure there's anything that really blows me out here for wait until my opponent's turn, but if I can now trade Bone Crusher for a creature, that's great. Unless they have like random Rodden Regisaur or something like that. Swamp. Alright, well we're stuck with Sphinges in our hand. We're gonna go ahead and cast Bone Crusher, and the next turn, if nothing happens, we can just straight up cast Cavalier and just pitch all these Sphinges. Yes, Sphinges. And I think I'm supposed to keep my life total as high as possible here, just trade off if I can. Even though I guess Keruga is also an option. I can't cast Keruga though with these. Opponent didn't even attack. Wow, we've got the playset of Sphinges. Alright, we're going to discard all of them here. Opponent didn't even offer the trade there, which I find interesting. Do I want to keep one Sphinx? Heartless Act. Okay. Sure. I think I just want to pitch all of these. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to keep one. This looks decent. Discard 4 Sphinxes. Look at that graveyard. Alright, what else we got going on, opponent? Interesting that they chose to... Oh, okay. Nice. I wonder if they already had that or not. This is fine. This is all fine. Still looking for Fires. Mystical Dispute, not likely to be that good. Although I can just go shock this and probably Mystical Dispute something. I don't know if my opponent plays around that or not. I kind of want to go Teferi and just Bone Crusher Giant this thing. I can't flash anything in response. If they kill Teferi, big whoop. I am going to get my cards worth off of Teferi, though. Castle Vantress. Let's actually just pass with Bone Crusher up here. Opponent's not sacking their Fabled Passage, which is usually a sign that they want to draw lands. Alright, let's crush your bones. Another Fabled Passage. Kaya, nice. Kaya can exile things with converted mana cost 1, or exile 2 cards from a graveyard, gain 2 life if one of them's a creature. Not worried about that ulting or anything like that. Is it time to go Keruga? I can Keruga, draw a card. I can also just go Brazen Borrowers here and kill this thing. I guess I'd cast Bone Crusher and make him interact with that, and then cast a Brazen Borrower. I can also keep a Mystical Dispute this way, which is fine. And they might have another Heartless Act. They're cracking their Fabled Passages here. I don't think I would fight over that. Oh, they can't cast it end step, though. They have to cast it on their turn. Like, if they target Bone Crusher Giant, I'll just let it go and cast a Brazen Borrower on my end step. So Kaya's -5 is deals damage to target player equal to the number of exiled cards they control, which will be 4 on my next turn, but I'm probably going to smack this with Brazen Borrower. Oh, they just passed? Okay. Well, now Keruga is going to be great. So plus, I'm going to cast Keruga. Draw 3 cards. Didn't even have to put this card in my deck. Fabled Passage. And let's just smack down Kaya here. I'll lose 2 life and they'll gain 2, but that's fine. I get to keep up Mystical Dispute here, which isn't too big of a deal. I get to keep up Bone Crusher. They're still underneath the Teferi. Keruga just drew me 3 cards, and I didn't even have to draw this card. It was basically free to have it in my deck. You'll hear me say that about every single companion, how ridiculous it is that you just have it every single game. Heartless Act can resolve. Keruga already did its thing. Save my Mystical Dispute for something that matters. Yeah, seeing Fires deck played this sort of match. Wow. I don't know about all that now. Alright, let's go ahead and smack. And I'm just not even looking for Fires at this point anymore. I'll keep the Triome in my hand. And cycle the Triome here. What you got, opponent? What you got? Bizelin? Kaya? Sure. Kaya can resolve. Gains them 2 life. That's about it. 4 life, technically, because I'm going to attack it. But it's mostly just wheel spinning. Am I supposed to just cast another Brazen Borrower here? Probably. Cry of the Carnarium, -2/-2. Sure. Again, I don't want to fight over anything that's not going to actually change the course of this game. And we'll go ahead and flash in a 3/1. And we'll cycle. There's Fires. Now we're looking for action, so I'm going to cycle and get lands out of my deck. Island. Don't think it matters too much at this point. We've got all the colors we need. Mountain. Our hand's actually not that good of a Fires hand, but this is where Castle Vantress is really good. Alright, let's go ahead and kill Kaya, take our 2, attack our opponent. And I think I'm actually just not supposed to cast Fires here. I think I'm just supposed to use my mana, hold up Mystical Dispute just in case, and then scry on end step, look for some sort of action card. Go off next turn with Fires. It's not too much my opponent can do, except I guess continue to play Kaya's, which I'm fine with. It's a lot of Kaya's. Yeah, this is just like black-white control. Alright, let's go ahead and scry. Oh yeah. I should probably just about do it. Let's cast Fires. We will free cast Kenrith. And I can... oh, they exiled my dudes. But I can activate this ability. Put this back on board. It's 5 mana, so we want to go... I want to make sure I hold up a red to activate Kenrith here. I need a black. Put Sphinx on board. Give everything haste. Uh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Boom, boom, boom. Sure. You got it. And I'll pass. Alright, opponent's going to have a really good one here. I mean, a sweeper, I guess, would be something. And this deck's so good at finding answers with the castles, because you can use your mana to activate the castles, and you can still cast stuff with the Fires. Again, I'm kind of speaking as though people might not know the Fires deck. Alright, everything worked out there. That was more of a control game until we actually found fires, at which point we probably would have won without fires. Plus, my opponent's deck was not playing a companion, and I had a free card that drew me 3 more cards. So you can see companions versus non-companions. Again, you need a really compelling reason to want that matchup. We'll play one more and then call it quits. Keruga Fires coming up. Match number, was this 4 or 5? Oh, well, last match coming up. See you there. Alright, welcome back. We are against Darnell in our final match. Again, another good control hand. Not against a companion once again. I think you're supposed to like aggressively mulligan for your fires, but the fact that my opponent's not playing a companion leads me to believe that they might have a little bit of a less competitive deck, even though I don't know if that's fair or not. I don't want to like make my opponent seem like they're bad or anything like that. I don't know, but I'm assuming if you don't have a companion, you're not kind of up on standard, but who knows. That being said, my hand's not very good. I do have a turn 3 Teferi. Got a little bit of interaction here. Doesn't look like Deafening Clarion's going to be that good against blue-white. Mystical Dispute. Alright, I'm just going to jam a Teferi into this Dovin's Veto or Mystical Dispute of my opponent's. Omen of the Sea. So a Yorion, non-Yorion deck. And against blue-white, again, I'm just going to plus Teferi here. Next turn, we're really just looking for fires at this point. If they happen to play like creatures out of the woodworks, we can Clarion. I guess blue-white can also be Winota. Oh, that's pretty good against us. That is pretty strong. They drew a Teferi of their own. Yeah, these Clarions are really bad. We don't even have a 4th land. So I'm just going to minus Teferi. Oh. As soon as I clicked it, I was like, wait, no, don't do that. That doesn't work. Alright, well, we just minus Teferi for no reason. Pro strat. Let's see what they do here. If they cast their own Teferi, I might just Mystical Dispute it. If not, I'll flash in, like, Brazen Borrower here and try to take out some walkers. Yeah, let's just dispute that. I would like to still play at instant speed if I can. Here comes Narset minus. Bertha Miletus. You got it. Alright, that is a 4th land, so we can jam Sphinx here, just make our opponent deal with that. Or I could hold up a instant speed Brazen Borrower. Can also Clarion at instant speed, which isn't too big of a deal or anything. I'm going to need to kill this at some point, though. Just going to jam the Sphinx here. They have another Teferi that's not that good. But even if they did have another Teferi and I flash this in response, it's whatever. It feels like Bertha Miletus into Teferi or something along those lines. What you got, Darnell? This could have 3 extra loyalty on it for what it's worth. Banishing Light, taking out Sphinx or Teferi? Probably just the Sphinx, right? It's very clear I don't have too much going on. Even if I draw fires right now, it's not like it's great. Could play Keruga, but Keruga unfortunately doesn't draw cards, so I think we go plus and hold up Brazen Borrower here. So I can go Brazen Borrower, bounce this, and also cast Borrower. Then next turn, Keruga. Could cast this as well, but that seems not great. Let's just pass. If they have like a Dream Trawler, I guess that could be bad. We could even double Clarion Trawler, though, if we draw another land. Crack Fabled Passage, sure. This looks like a Dream Trawler to me. Which is not unbeatable, but is still pretty good. That is in fact a trawler. So do we want to... Well, I guess if we borrower this just to make it tap, they actually kill it. So let's go to end step here. I'm going to go borrower this thing. And then cast borrower. Scry. I will keep land on the top here. I think I want to go attack, kill Narset, and then just double Clarion. It wipes my board, my opponent gains a little bit of life, but puts me in decent shape. I can also Teferi back whichever creature they don't block, which would be nice. Actually, I only have to single Clarion, which is also kind of nice. Let's go and kill Narset. So they can block the Sphinx. They might not block at all, to be honest. Yeah, they might not block here. There's no reason for them to block, actually. And they get the Banish and Light to Fairy. Alright, we are going to double Clarion, though. Let's go ahead and blink, I think, Brazen Borrower. Just don't want Trawler going. I need another white source here. Yeah, Banish and Light is very likely going to go ahead and take Teferi out. I don't think my Clarions are getting much better than killing a Dream Trawler. Opponent goes up to 22. And they're all set. If they have another Dream Trawler, we're in a little bit of trouble. We did not find Fires. Elspeth conquers death, kill Teferi, sure. That can also get that Trawler back at some point. Sphinx. It's looking pretty bad. I can cast this and attack. Cycle away my hand looking for something. They have a Banish and Light. I think we're going out on this one. Fable Pass with Kenrith. Okay. Yeah, in a couple turns, or next turn, that's going to get whatchamacallit back, which is pretty bad. Teferi. Okay. Well, that's not that good, but it does stop the Dream Trawler for a turn. Oh, it costs 5 mana. I forgot about that. And they just replay it. Yeah, I think I've lost this game at this point. Still not found Fires. 20 cards in. They're just going to Elspeth Conquer Death to Fairy now. Yeah, there were some not game-winning plans here. I guess if I find Fires next turn, I might be in decent shape. Because I can go Kenrith plus Keruga. Let's go ahead and crack this. Alright, so on my upkeep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can scry looking for Fires, but then I can cast Kenrith. I won't be able to activate Kenrith, right? Because I'll use 5 mana and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to scry for Fires. They can Banish and Light Fires. I think I just have to blind draw and hope it's in the top card. Still draw a bunch of cards, though. I'm going to go and scry here. Oh, Fires cost 2 more, though. Yeah, I need to not do that. Because now if I draw it, I can't even cast it. Kenrith. Alright. Well, we have lost this game. It doesn't look like it right away, but this game is over. Misplayed probably a little bit, but I don't think, having not found Fires at all, you can see this deck really suffers when you don't have it. not playing the control game against an actual dedicated control deck. You can play the control game against little creature decks and stuff like that, or the all Kaya decks, but against an actual dedicated control deck, you're not going to win unless you get out of the gates right away. Wonder if I should mulligan more often, but there you go. Keruga Fires. Keruga did its job just fine. It would have been good in most of the games that we would have cast it. We lost to a control deck, but it even would have been good in that deck, or even in that situation, if I was set up just a little bit more. So Keruga, really strong. Not sure if Fires is the quote-unquote correct place for it or not, but that's going to go ahead and take care of our first companion. Where are you at, Keruga? Where'd you go? There you are. And yeah, companion is completely busted. You saw the one game, it drew me like 3 cards, and while this card is not like insanely powerful, right? It's not like this card is breaking the bank. It's the mechanic companion that breaks it, right? The fact that you always get to draw this card, you can build a deck plan around it. And this is more of just like a shoe-in type value card for Fires than it is like a necessary part of the strategy. But we will hopefully see with cards like Gigan and stuff like that, that just having the companion every single game and building your deck plan around it makes it really powerful. But that's going to go ahead and do it for our first entry in the companion series. Thanks for watching. My name's Timothy with Mana Rocks. Let me know which companion you want to see next. By the time you comment, it'll already be done. So thanks for watching. You can find us on Twitter, MTG_ManaRocks. And I will catch you all next time.